So this is going to be our review and thoughts on the first episode of Strange New World Series 2, which was called... Yeah, I've got no idea either because they don't put the episode title on them.
I cannot think off the top of my head.
It does my head in. Why don't they put the episode title on there? I've got no idea. Episode 1 of Strange New Worlds. Probably in the description will be what the episode title is.
I'm actually trying to think now what it was actually called.
I've got no idea. No idea.
No.
So, quick breakdown of the plot. We had a bit of fallout from last series with Pike and number 1, Una, who were quickly written out, which is a bit underwhelming. Spock is left in charge when the ship receives a distress call from La'an, that there is a threat to the Federation and shenanigans unfold. First thoughts on this episode. I thought it was really well directed.
Yes.
Like it looked like a film. I was watching it going, this guy could actually just do like a Marvel film. I don't like Marvel films, but he could do a Marvel film quite well.
It felt cinematic.
Cinematic.
But not the usual modern Trek cinematic, if
Right.
that makes sense.
No.
Usually it's sort of... No, I felt like Discovery of the cards, in-your-face type cinematic.
Yeah.
Whereas this just felt...
It felt like a film.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I would say it was really, really well. The cinematography, the shots were really good.
I think that's what I was trying to say. Like, it's not cinematic in the sense of they were just trying to make it look. This just looked like you say, like a film. Beautiful to watch. Mm-hmm. CGI shots of the ship's all great.
Yes,
camera shots.
No, it's stunning flybys of ship porn.
Yep.
Which is what I thought. That flyby of the Enterprise at the start in Space Dock, chef's kiss, beautiful,
sweeping down,
sweeping
down.
Around. I liked the modified uniforms for Starfleet that looked a bit like the Discovery ones,
Yes.
only better.
Probably just a reuse.
Probably
what they've got, but yeah, I can see what you mean. Yeah.
I was going to say, as I started watching this, I was thinking, wow, Anson Mount is brilliant in this. He's at the top of his game, and poof, then he was gone. I was just getting into him being in it. I was like, he's really, really good. I love how he's like delivering his lines, all the rest of it, and then he's not in it.
He's gone. I was of a position, in general, the episode. It's great to let the rest of them shine, but obviously Anson Mount just gives that final bit of sparkle that
It does.
everybody
I
loves.
didn't think there was enough of him in the last series, to be honest. And so to have him written out so quickly, I mean, I guess he's going to be in episode 2. I just thought it was a bit disappointing. They set up a nice cliffhanger.
Yes.
Which isn't resolved at all. They just kind of go, yeah, we're not dealing with this. We want to do an action movie for episode 1 because we think the audience is stupid or something like that.
I sort of felt like I wanted them to get on with that.
Yeah, that's what I
Get
wanted.
that plot resolved
That's what I thought it was going to be. I thought we were going to get like a Measure of a Man kind of episode going on, and instead we got an action movie, which was fine, but...
Spoilers, I have seen a clip for next week's, an extended clip, and we are getting Measure of a Man.
We are getting Measure
Measure of a Man, but...
Do we think it will Measure of a Man up to the original?
That's terrible.
It's awful.
That's terrible. I actually do. Having seen a 2-minute clip of it, which Paramount did release about 3 weeks ago, I was like, I thought that was the opening episode, so I was like, oh, okay, why are you doing the second episode?
I'm cautious.
It felt like a good courtroom show. Obviously, I haven't got the full thing of it, but what I saw,
Okay.
I liked. I thought, yeah, this looks good.
Okay. What did you think about Spock and Chapel? This plot line that's... They seeded it last series. They seem to be doubling down on it this time.
I feel like they've took a tiny tentacle from the original series of it all and then gone
crazy.
A bit like with the Trek 09 movie with Spock and Uhura. It's just totally left field for Spock as a character.
Yeah, that's my problem with it. I don't mind it so much on Chapel's side, even though I don't really feel like Chapel is Chapel. It's name only.
She's a completely different character to what she is in the
So I
series.
don't mind it being on her side, but on his side, I'm not so keen on that.
No.
Spock's emotional behaviour. I thought they actually set it up from something that happened last series to this episode so that it was, at least they tried to explain it.
Yeah, I'm in two minds of it because, again, we're sort of like, I don't know what the time frame is now between the original, I think it's like 6 years, I think it is roughly, between where we are now and then I'm just like, I know people can change a lot, and he was not emotionless, but season 1, he had his struggles, and then obviously the whole, as they say in the episode, the Gorn thing has made him now. His emotions come to the top. I don't know. Again, it's a lot of exposition on their part for a show that's obviously they've got 60 years back of the original series, and now they're trying to nudge these stories in with these characters that everybody knows everything about. We didn't know the sister until Discovery.
No, we didn't. That's still up for debate with some people, but
so
it's canon now.
It's just the shoehorning, which I don't mind. It adds to Spock's story, but I just feel like, do I feel like Leonard Nimoy's Spock actually went through this?
I got the impression it was something that was, well, or at least it was being set up as it was something temporary. Like he'd lost it during that encounter of the Gorn. He's still struggling with it, and that's why at this point he's like, I'm going to go steal a ship.
Yeah, for me, and you probably want to touch on it, the scene with Mbenga with the loot.
Yes.
And I was like, you've just shoehorned something out of the original series. He plays the loot in that.
Oh, yeah, they had to get a member berry in.
And part of me
got to
thought,
go in there.
Now everyone's going to think every time he's playing that in the original series, he's having an emotional outburst and
that
he needs
never
to calm
occurred to
himself
me.
down.
That
and
never
I'm
occurred
like,
to me.
It pushes a boundary of something that actually in the original series he was just playing a loot.
You arsehole. That's going to, every time I watch the original series now, that's going to bug the hell out of me.
Yeah. And you're going to think, oh, I remember now when Mbenga gave him
Yeah.
the loot, and the reason he got the loot was because his emotions are out of check. So you're going to think every time you see him playing the loot, he's having a bit of a burst out, which I'm going to watch the episodes again and find out when he's playing the loot and see if there's been a scene before where he's annoyed.
See if it even matches up. See if they've gone that far.
Yeah.
They're not going to go
No,
that far.
they won't have thought that.
We got a new character.
We did.
New, regular character, Carol Kane.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm familiar with her from Scrooged.
Hunters
more so.
for me. You've not watched that yet, have you?
I've not watched all of it. No, but
she's brilliant in that.
I loved her in Scrooge, and I really liked her in this as well. New species. I don't think they've been
Yes, I can't think of
mentioned
the names
before.
off the top of my
They
head.
are Lamponite.
Lamponite, that's it. Lamponite, so they've been on Earth.
But they've got a really. They live a long time.
Yeah. I thought maybe what you're thinking of is Guinan and
I thought Elorian. I thought that exactly the same thing, because at times I'm like, so it's an Elorian.
If they'd have literally gone with that, I'd have been like, oh, another member of a species that we didn't know about, and obviously they came to Earth. Picard's filled in that gap. Time's Arrow's filled in that gap.
Yeah, fun performance though.
Oh,
I'm looking forward to seeing more of her and knowing a little bit more about her. Considering they got rid of I think the most interesting character of the first series, Hemmer,
yeah.
Rest in peace. They wrote him out, which I thought was a really dumb move. But I mean, it added weight though. I felt the weight in that.
It added weight, and I felt like for once in a first series, his character deserved, the emotional outfall of it all. But at the same time, I'm like, again, he was a good character. Everyone liked him. Everyone was going on about how great he was.
Yeah.
But I do think she was brilliant, especially when she comes sauntering onto the bridge, and I was like, okay, what's going on here? And I was thinking the whole back and forth with her and Spock, and I was like, she already knows what you're doing, and he can't lie. So I just thought, well,
I thought it was played really well. I really liked that scene. I had a lot of fun with it. Some people have complained about some of the humour. I thought it was okay in this episode. The whole winding Spock up about what he's going to say when they engage the warp drive.
Tongue in cheek.
Yeah,
it's just sort of your tongue in cheek humour. It's
not. I thought it's something that I could totally see happening with Data.
Yes.
In the originals, in the Next Generation.
Next Generation before.
Straight up. And even the response, I was like, I could totally see Data delivering that in an identical way. And everyone would be fine with it. So.
I just think.
Probably because it's in the trailer.
Yeah.
And it's coupled with lots of humorous moments. I think people might have jumped.
But I just felt like it was sort of tongue in cheek slapstick humour, which for the moment I thought was fine, because like you say, it's Spock and. It's sort of.
I mean, it wasn't really a funny episode.
No.
There were a couple of humorous moments early on when the stakes got upped.
It got heavy. Yeah.
I love the whole stealing of the Enterprise.
Yes.
I love it in Star Trek 3. I loved it in Picard, and I love it in this. So I have a thing for theft of big starships. Apparently.
Well, it was because of Spock, in Search for Spock, that they stole the Enterprise, and technically it was because of Spock this time, because he decided that.
It's all his fault.
Yeah.
It's always been his fault.
He's the reason. That the
green-blooded son of a bitch.
Yeah. It's all.
We also got some real Klingons and real Klingon ships.
Yeah.
Which was nice. Again, absolutely no explanation for the change, and I guess we're probably going to have to wait 30 years for someone to try.
Evolution.
That's what they're going to go with.
Yeah.
Evolution in 3 years.
Oh, yeah. Well, the bald Klingons were because they shaved their hair for war, so...
And their entire head changed shape. They looked great, and for the most part, they behaved great as well.
I enjoyed them a lot more than...
Oh, God, a lot more than Discovery Klingons.
They got better in Season 2, Discovery. I will
Yep.
say that they turned a bit of a corner,
Yep.
and now they seem to have thought, actually, we need to take a
Yep.
even more rounded corner.
We're getting onto the drug. So you think the drug that Nurse Chapel and Dr. Mabenga took has been mentioned before? I didn't recall it.
I don't know. As I said, I had to watch that scene a few times over because I need to focus on it. I don't know whether it was something to do with the one from Season 1 that they used to change their... Remember they injected him? Was it the first episode?
Yes.
And I didn't know if it was some kind of variation of that.
Right.
Because obviously it gives you all the species characteristics and traits.
Yes.
And I thought he'd just been working on a Klingon. Maybe the strength side of the thing was because he'd put...
I was going to say, it did change their appearance, though, didn't it?
The eyes went all funny.
Yeah, their pupils dilated.
And I just wonder whether it was a lighter version of that, where he's like, oh, I can modify this to give us the strength, because otherwise...
I don't know, because she did say that he always keeps it on him as well.
Yeah.
Which implied it was something that he might have used during the Klingon War. I liked all the callbacks to Klingon War, by the way.
Yeah.
Although that was really good, a bit of backstory for his character that we hadn't heard. And I got the impression they were also together during the Klingon War at some points as well. I liked that. I thought that was really good. I thought at least... I wasn't keen on the action scene. Not because of how it was directed. I thought it was directed perfectly fine. At least they gave a reason why they were both kicking the Klingons' arses.
Yeah, because obviously if they'd been left field, they just started...
Well, it still felt like it to me. And then, they mentioned the drug had worn off and Chapel's restrained. And then I was like, okay, fair enough. The drugs wore off. They're now showing it more, realistic now. And then all of a sudden they just kick their arses anyway. The
only thing with that bit of the scene, I thought with Mbenga, maybe the adrenaline hit as well with him.
But what about her? Where did she learn Kung Fu?
I know that. That's a character
I'm guessing
trope.
it's from the Klingon War again, but it's stretching it a bit for me, is all I thought. That was the one part of the sequence that I sat there and it kind of took me out of it and I kind of disconnected with the episode a bit. I was just like seeing this
Kung Fu
100-pound girl kicking 5 Klingons in. And I think
But she was a bit kick-ass in Season 1.
She was kick-ass in Season 1.
When the pirates took over the ship, she was throwing them around like nothing. And I know these are Klingons supposed to be stronger.
That's the problem. My main problem is they've reintroduced the Klingons into it, and I kind of feel like they've diluted their impact immediately in that respect.
The thing for me is if they just explain what that serum was. I just would like to know what it is. I know it's exposition on their part.
It's blatantly being hinted that it's going to come up some point. I'm guessing there's going to be an addiction plot line. It would be my guess.
I was wondering if it's something eugenics-based. Bearing in mind we're about to go into the next episode of a court-martial for an officer. They have technically modified themselves, however briefly.
I would have preferred, though, rather than having like a fight sequence, if it had been something a bit more stealth, where they have to use their smarts and a bit more covert than just a big brawl in a corridor. That is a little bit systematic of New Trek to me. One of the things I'm not so keen on. I know some people will love it, and some people are there for action. And if you do, that's fantastic. That's great. For me, it's a niggle. What did you think about the Klingon giving up so much information when interrogated? That kind of bugged me. I thought surely a Klingon would rather die than dishonour.
I literally thought of like Worf. Straight away, first Klingon you always think of in Star Trek, and I thought he would literally be there going, "I'd rather die than And so would any Klingon, but I just thought Worf straight away in that situation. If that was Worf, he'd be like, I'd rather die, and especially seeing him with Picard so recently, I'm like... So, yeah, I did think...
I had my doubts about that one. That was another thing I thought they kind of undersold the Klingons on a little bit. I thought that you're doing things to move the plot forward that aren't necessarily in keeping.
Yeah.
If there's any other species, fine. Klingons, that guy would have gone to his grave keeping the information.
There's also the whole thing with the hand-to-hand combat. Why didn't the Klingon just pull a knife? Like they normally have knives attached to them somewhere.
Well, this is the problem. That's the problem I had with that entire sequence. I just thought the Klingons should be winning. There's the tons of them. You've got the magic bullshit drug, which we've not had explained, and I get that. But yeah, like you said, no knives and.
And she pulls a metal bar on them at some point, doesn't she? And I was thinking, well, this would be the perfect time for one of them to pull out a batleth and like.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even mind then a bit, just to add to the scene of them having a bit of a melee with the weapons, but.
So, it was action-packed, but a bit light on Trek theorising, is how I felt.
Yes. I think they were trying to go big for an opening episode for the season, a bit of a
That's
wow
what I
factor.
thought. Yep, wow factor for a big opening.
I think that's mainly what it will be now, and I think as we go
Mm-hmm.
into the season, maybe this will become one of the worst episodes. I'm not saying it's terrible, but I'm just saying...
Honestly, I didn't dislike
No.
it. It kind of just sits in the middle for me.
I'm just sort of thinking maybe, especially if next week is your sort of measure of Man
Yep.
Fight episodes, well, there's one episode, if it hits the mark, I'll already be there going,
Yep.
well, that was better than episode 1.
Yeah.
So if it carries on that sort of theme of, we want an open, action-packed opening, and I'm guessing it's going to be an action-packed ending,
Yeah.
then it bookends itself to having a bit of variety in the middle and
Yeah.
more Trek episodes. And it's modern TV, again, you need that sort of
Yeah.
boom in your opening episode.
Do we know where the Klingons got the Federation ship from? I didn't pick up. I couldn't tell whether or not it was like a wreck from the war that they'd retooled, or if they were literally... I think they said they were building it from scratch.
So,
But surely that'd be really easy to identify and go, that's not in our fleet. So
this is the buggy part I was going to bring up a
yeah,
little bit later
go
on.
Yeah,
With the Discovery sets. I
Right.
don't know if you noticed, but when they identify the ship, they say it's a Crossfield class,
right.
which obviously Discovery is a Crossfield class.
Obviously,
And if you watch the destruction of the ship, it
Yes.
is a Crossfield class. It's missing the middle bit, so
right.
I'm assuming that there was some designs of the ship used and left over. Obviously, they didn't want the whole Discovery spore drive thing. But I will go back and check that scene again. But I'm pretty sure if you watch when it explodes,
This is the information we need, Alex.
the centre is missing. And I was like, oh, maybe what they've done is they were building these Crossfield classes
Yeah.
for the spore drive because they were testing it out and thinking, going to do more. Didn't.
Yeah.
It also helps with the Discovery cover-up of that's the Crossfield class, not Discovery. And so, yeah, when I was watching it, I was like, oh. And then I thought maybe it's come from somewhere completely left field that the
Yeah.
Klingons destroyed another Crossfield class that we don't know about. And they've used the hulk of the ship.
See, I'm glad you are here to fill these plot holes. Akiva Goldsman, I can get you his number if you need it. I mean, his services are here at any time, just to
Comment below.
just to keep it all going. So we've already said we thought it was trying to make it a bit of a mini movie instead of Trek. I really loved the scene in the airlock with Mbenga
Yeah.
and Chapel. Then it started to feel like Star Trek
Yeah,
for me.
and
And Spock's conundrum about does he shoot the
Shoot.
ship down.
Yeah.
I really like that. That's when I was like, okay, you kind of got it back on course.
It went high
now.
stakes for a moment, and it was
Yeah.
that. It was, you've got them in the airlocks, obviously their problem and their situation. You've got Spock there.
Yeah.
He's also got the weight of the Federation on his shoulders
Yeah.
of like, I fire, keep us a secret, or I don't fire, let them out, fly through, war could break out, and then I just thought, like you say, it was very Trek for a moment of there is a moral decision behind this, and it's a moral decision of the people personally that you know. Again, the needs of the many
Needs of the
outweigh
many.
the needs of the few, and that's where his mind
That's a good
was.
quote. They should put that in the series.
You know, that's where his mind was, I think.
Yeah.
But it was the other way around, I think, for a few moments. It was the needs of the few
Yeah.
outweigh the needs of the many, and
Yeah.
in that respect, good character development for Spock.
Yeah, I really did like that scene.
Yeah.
I thought that was really, really well done. I quite liked the resolution with the Klingon captain. Then I thought, you've nailed the Klingons.
Yeah.
Up until that point, I was like, okay, they look great, not down with all this stuff. And then that one moment where he just, we'll settle it over some blood wine.
Wine.
And they're like, okay, this I've got to see.
Yeah.
And the whole sequence afterwards, I thought, yeah, that's really very Klingon. I'm like, you've actually got them now.
It took the
And
Klingons...
he felt like a proper Klingon.
Yeah, I was
really,
going to say,
really
it took the
felt
Klingons
like
to
it.
what I would expect from them.
Yeah.
I just...
What I wanted from him.
Yeah, and that whole scene of just like, even on the bridge when they're having that chat, and he's like, give me one good reason why I shouldn't blow, and he's like,
Yeah.
well, literally what Spock does in Final Frontier, and he's like,
Yeah.
I'm a Vulcan, I cannot lie.
Yeah.
When he's talking to the Klingon, it's
Yeah,
like...
Yeah, no, I like the resolution. It managed to be both kind of funny and I don't want to say logical because that seems like a bit of a pun, but you know what I mean. It made sense as
No,
well.
yeah,
It didn't
yeah.
take me out of it either. It was a fun sequence. The Klingons were behaving like Klingons. Everyone seemed to be kind of behaving like they should. It's kind of a feel-good end to the episode.
Oh yeah, the episode as a whole, it did round out to be a nice story.
It did.
I would have maybe have liked a bit of a snippet at the end as to what Pike's gone off to.
Yes.
I'd have just liked to have seen something.
Yeah, because was he even in it after the teaser? Is he gone
No,
before
he's
gone in the teaser?
He was gone. So I'd have just liked to have seen maybe just something to tie it into next week. Just see
Yeah.
him arrive maybe, or,
Yeah.
or whatever the situation with that. I also wanted to see the shuttle that he got, because he makes a quip to Spock that in the new shuttles I'll get there twice as fast.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, well,
They're baiting you.
I thought no, but I thought
They're
you've nailed
dick-teasing you.
they've nailed the shuttles. I thought in season 1 to what
Sounds
they look like.
you would like to nail the shuttles from how you're talking.
Ample nacelles. That's all I'm saying. But no, I just would have liked to just seen something with Pike just to round it off. And
Yep.
like, you've set up a bit of a story for him, and all right, maybe next week it will start
Well,
with that.
instead we got a different setup, didn't we? We had a little hint of some more stuff going on with the Gorn, who were pretty popular last year.
Yeah, looks like
They've given them a bit of a redesign and made them...
menacing.
Yeah, I'd go with that, menacing. I think that they are Strange New Worlds' big bad.
Well, obviously they've got the whole alien effect now, bursting
Yeah.
out of your body.
They,
That's
they-
after
they
last season.
definitely took it up a notch. It's controversial, but
I like it, and
I like it and don't like it.
yeah,
In equal measure.
It's a thing of
I like it for its own series. I don't like it because it's the Gorn and we have already established stuff. That's normally my main problem with Strange New Worlds characterized. I like what they're doing. I don't necessarily like when they've tried to link it to something that's already
my problem.
existing.
Is they're starting to make Kirk as a character look really thick in the original series, because obviously, I don't know who the Gorn are.
Yep.
I've never heard of Khan Noonien Singh, even though there was a Noonien Singh that I've met multiple times.
Yep.
And she's open about the fact that she's related to Khan.
Yep. And from the teasers, it looked like she has a bit of a crush on him. You think
Yeah.
you might remember.
Yeah. So I do, in some respects, feel like we're sort of making Kirk look a bit thick in the future. I'm hoping maybe.
Well, we'll have to see if this comes up in our hopes for series
There is
2
that.
going forward, because it might be one of my points.
Oh, you
So you
see.
have to wait and see.
Spoilers.
Spoilers, exactly. Do you have any other thoughts on the episode? Anything else? Because
No,
I think I've talked constantly.
I wondered, and again, it's been a while since I watched season 1. I was looking at the Bridge of the Enterprise thinking, have they made some slight adjustments? But that's more just nitpicky things for me.
Well, they haven't put a carpet in, so...
Well, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But that's reserved for the D.
It is. It is.
The D gets carpets.
So, how many lights would you give it this episode? Is it more than 4?
Wow. There are only 4 lights.
But how many for this?
I would say 3.
Oh,
I would say 3 because I thought
out of 5 or out of 10?
Oh, if we're doing if you're doing 3 out of 5 lights, you see.
Oh yeah,
If there's 5 lights,
yours works better.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll go with yours.
Yeah,
yeah,
Should I say
3.
that bit again?
No, I prefer it with mistake.
I was going to say, but yeah, 3 out of 5 lights. I think it was middle of the park in terms of a starting episode for the season. It did what it meant to do. Come out the gates, burst in. I would like more of the story from the end of the season. But overall, it was just bang in the middle for me. It served a purpose of opening the series. It set up some stories going forwards. Maybe I might give it 1 extra light later on in the season in retrospect.
For me, I think it's 2.5 lights.
Oh, we're not far
so
off
that third light is just, it's flickering.
No,
it's flickering. I don't know. Maybe, like you said, at the end of the series, we'll give the light a flick and it might come on to be in a full 3. I don't know. But I think maybe there's also like an element of, I don't want to say disappointment, but expectation. So I thought the plot was going to go somewhere because it was set up at the end of last season. Didn't go there. So trying to kind of take that into account, maybe I'm treating it a little more harshly because it didn't follow through with where I thought it was going. It told something completely different. But yeah,
I think for me it's more, if I'm looking at it as a season opener,
a season opener, it works.
It works.
If it hadn't got the cliffhanger from last series, I probably wouldn't have any problems with it as much. Well, I still have problems with some of the Klingon sequences.
Maybe
but
I'd be if this was episode 2,
yeah,
and it was something random episode 1, and it carried on this, I'd probably with you on the 2.5. I just think as a season opener, if you're going to grab people, I'm also of the opinion of if you're going to go back and watch your Trek, like I want to just put that episode on. It's got the story, it picks it right at the beginning of season 2's cliffhanger, but at the same time allows you to just watch it.
Yes, it does.
Which is what I think they're trying to do. I don't think we're going to get heavy two-parters in Strange New Worlds.
No.
I really don't.
No.
I don't think there's ever going to be a best of both worlds cliffhanger.
Pike becomes part Gorn.
I mean, I'd like to see him get infected by a Gorn, and they're having like a
They could do the child. But it's Pike that's pregnant with a Gorn.
Yes, I could see them doing that. I could actually see them doing that.
It could work. They could do it as a musical. They could just like throw all the balls.
I'm
into
waiting
it.
for a musical episode. I know it's going to come. I've got a funny
It's
feeling.
got to.
It's a trope of modern TV.
I was
Again,
gonna say,
everyone has a musical episode.
I want. Oh God, no! I want nothing less. But I can totally tell it's going to happen.
We're not far off. What's the episode last? The fantasy
Oh,
one?
yeah, the
Illyrian
yeah,
Kingdom.
yeah.
The episode is. See, I can remember last season's episode titles. I've just only seen this.
Well, you'd remember more if they actually put them on screen. But again, that might come back up in our hopes.
All I'm going to say
The future
is
series.
I've looked at those title credits. When it comes up, Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, the writing starts to fade out. It just needs to be under there and appear. But no, they won't. They won't.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I think that's all we've got to say on it.
Yeah, I think so.
All that remains is to add the usual thing of if you could like and subscribe this video, that would be incredible because we are a starting channel and it does help us out
really
more
does.
than you understand. It really, really does. So I hope you'd enjoy it and we'll see you on the next one.
Yep. Live long and prosper.